Yes, so as she mentioned, we have another silver company, that be Defiance Silver, $25 million market cap company, 2 projects in Mexico. One of those is a silver project. The other one is a gold and copper project. Ticker symbol is DEF on the Ventures Exchange, and over here in Frankfurt, the ticker symbol is D4E. And I have the VP of Corporate Development, George Cavey, here with me. George, take it away. What did I say?
George, it's okay. Doesn't, you know what? It's about the company, not the people. No, I guess it's about the people too. Tough shoes to fill, Lauren. That was excellent energy, and did a fantastic job of setting the stage for me here. So Defiance is a, I guess, pretty well-known company now. We've been around for a few years, and when you look at the global picture and the global team and what we've got as assets and our technique and how we funded things over the past, at least since we've been involved with it the past 3 years, has been tremendously successful and really has been fighting a pretty difficult market. And I don't think we're unique in that, but I think it's, presents an opportunity, but also presents sort of an understanding of the difficulties that we've had in demonstrating the case for investing in silver. Investing in the junior space. So we have two, really the fundamentals of investing in any market or any exploration company really comes down to sort of four or five factors, and we'll focus on 4 of them. The 5th is the market, and we can't control that. But you need to have good assets, and we have 2 great assets, what we'd consider standalone assets. One with our Zacatecas district projects, and then the other with our Tepal asset, and I'll talk a little bit about that and the difficulties we've had with that, which look to be coming to an end in the near future here. Second is the team of people that we have. We have a team of people that are proven mine finders that have taken exploration projects and put them through the mill. I would guess up to 500 million ounces of silver has been discovered and then produced by a combination of our consultants and our employees of the company. The technique that we use to find that silver is not to reinvent the wheel, but to use modern systematic geoscience that's well funded and well proven to find deposits, and that we have done before. So we trust our own methodology and we trust our techniques, and we use the best people to do that as possible. And that you need to be funded. So, as Lauren said, you can burn through a lot of money out of a drill program, and you have to make a lot of critical decisions along the way. We've been fortunate and are still fortunate to have about $2.4 million in the treasury. And we have been, living off of that money since our last financing, which we did in 2021 at a share price of 90 cents, so limited dilution financing. And we have been living off of that financing since then. So really fortunate to be able to have had our exploration fully funded up to this point. So who is our team? Who's the backbone of our team? This is only 4 of them, and this is, I think, really something that you look at any team, and Laura did a great job. You're looking at a 1-2 punch of some of the industry titans of silver discovery in Mexico. Led by Chris. Chris Wright's our CEO. He's the co-founder of Windermere Capital. They're our largest shareholder at about 20% of the share count. Myself, Doug, my father, George, he's the Vice President of Exploration. He was also the Vice President of Exploration with Orco Silver. Orco Silver made the discovery at La Preciosa, which was one of the world's largest primary silver deposits. It's going into production in the next few years. That was a buyout in 2013 for $384 million cash, bidding war between First Majestic and Core Mining. So there's a little bit of a theme here as you see the next 3 presentations. Our exploration campaigns are largely led by Jen Roskowski. She is a world-class geologist, and we're fortunate to have her. And a lot of the success in discovery that we've had to date has been led by Jen. So she's sitting down in Mexico. It's a little bit warmer. Actually, I think it snowed in Sombrerete yesterday, but a little bit warmer than we have here, but really guiding the success from the team. But then also we have a crew that is about, our entire company is about 95% Mexican nationals. We're very proud of that. And a lot of them have that cumulative experience of developing mines. And between our management and between our management and directors, about 200 years of cumulative experience working in Mexico. So we have 2 what I would consider to be standalone assets. We have the Zacatecas district projects, and then we have the Tepal copper gold asset. I'll talk a bit about Zacatecas in the end, but let's talk about Tepal a little bit because it's been in the news. Tepal is one of the largest undeveloped copper gold assets in Mexico. It's a PEA level project and recently has put us into a bit of a tricky position in that we had a fraudulent transfer of our licenses, and we are in court with the defendants who have not shown up into court yet, and we expect to have a positive decision on that shortly. We have fortunately 2 assets, so we've been backstopped by our Zacatecas district projects, and that is what we're the second largest landowner in a billion-ounce historic silver jurisdiction. So we hope to have a positive decision on Tepal, and I'll just read you in on that in just a moment. Capital structure is very straightforward. No warrants, 229 million shares outstanding, $2.4 million in cash, a share chart that looks a bit like a Christmas tree, and management insiders, institutional shareholders, about 40% of the company. So very tightly held, $2.4 million in cash. Like every exploration company, we will need to raise money soon, but that point is not right now. This graph shows up because it kind of highlights 2 things. One, there is a pretty ugly market that we've been in for the last couple years. The other is every time we put out good news, our share price goes down. Pretty much a dislocation of the good times in the mining market. Tepal, as I said, one of the largest undeveloped copper gold projects in Mexico, one of the largest undeveloped copper gold projects in Mexico held by a junior company. It's a large project, 1.8 million ounces of gold, 800 million pounds of copper, measured and indicated. It's a PEA level project. It is almost shovel ready in that the deposit starts at surface. It's had a number of scoping studies done by majors. It's also had PEFSs, PEAs most recently done up until 2017. It has strong economics based on that 2017 PEA. Base case, $12.50 gold, $2.50 copper, 24% post-tax IRR, $214 million initial capex, and a post-tax NPV of $169 million. At $1,500 gold and $3 copper base case scenario, that post-tax NPV doubles to $345 million. So very sensitive to the price of gold. And you can see that 2017 initial capex cost would probably follow the trend of maintaining a similar ratio to the post-tax NPV just based on the metal price inputs. But we have this litigation going on. So this hit us hard. This wiped about half of our market cap off. We found out that someone had fraudulently transferred our licenses. It was essentially a horse thief. We had found out ourselves. There's no mechanism in place for someone to identify that this happened to us. Someone had fraudulently filed documents that said that we transferred our licenses to a third party. That didn't happen. We, of course, didn't transfer this to a third party. We caught them, and then we froze the assets with the Mexican Directorate of Mines. They agreed that this has happened. We have the support of the Directorate of Mines. We have the support of the Secretary of Economy, both in Mexico and in Canada. We filed our evidence. They did not file any evidence. We filed everything that we needed. The court has accepted all of our documents, and we expect that we'll have a decision very shortly. If it's not, before the next couple of weeks here, then it'll be early in the new year. We can't control the timeline of decision. We can't control the decision, but everything that we have submitted to date is favorable for us at this point. But let's step on to some of the positives, which is the Zacatecas projects. So Zacatecas is arguably the most important mining state in Mexico. When you look at who is our neighbors, we'll start at the north, the Penasquito mine. That contributes to 20% of Newmont's gold equivalent ounces annually. South of that is Orla's Camino Rojo project. That is Mexico's newest open pit gold mine. To the southeast of us, San Nicolas, which is a Teck-Agnico joint venture. Earlier this year, Agnico stepped in on a $580 million direct investment for 50% of that project. That's a pre-build feasibility level copper zinc project. Surrounding us are some of the world's largest asset types of their type. So if you're to the west of us, you have the La Colorada Sombrerete San Martin, the Sombrerete mining district. La Colorada is going to be one of the largest underground mines in Mexico in the next 5 to 10 years. But our closest neighbor is Cozamin, and then our next closest neighbor is the Juanicipio and Fresnillo, the Fresnillo mining district. So Fresnillo produced 25 million ounces of silver at the Fresnillo mine. Juanicipio is reaching full commercial production. That will be one of the world's largest primary silver mines in the next few years. When you take the gross metal value at today's prices of the Juanicipio and Fresnillo and Zacatecas mining district, that is more gross metal value than the Carlin-Cortez trends. So you're talking about the world's largest gold mining jurisdiction, and surrounding us in a 50 square kilometer radius, we have more gross metal value in the ground. These are some of the most important mines in Mexico historically, and when it comes right down to the Zacatecas district, which is us and the Cozamin and a handful of other mines, they were some of the most important mines in the Spanish Empire. These are mines that have existed for over 500 years and then are, undergoing a modern revolution. So, what is our thesis? That the Zacatecas district is like the Fresnillo camp from the 1960s. Why is it like that? We have the same rocks, we have the same geology, and we have the same results that have driven the Fresnillo district to what it is today. When Fresnillo found Santo Niño in 1975, up until that point, the Zacatecas district had produced more silver than the Fresnillo mining district. They found Santo Niño, which was 3 meters of 1,000 grams silver and 1.6 grams gold. That took them from less than 1 billion ounces of historical production to where they are today at over 7 billion ounces of production. We have drilled those results time and time again over the past few years on our Zacatecas projects, and we believe that just the structural setting alone does support that there is another Fresnillo or another Santo Niño, Juanicipio, Valdecañas, another set of veins that have not been previously mined, previously explored for. But when Fresnillo made those discoveries, everybody left the district. It led to fractured ownership, and what we've done is tried to basically put together the mining camp that we have today. So since 2019, we have been diligently putting together the land package that we have, purchasing ground from Mag Silver, from Pan American Silver. In fact, we will, and I'll talk about this later, we will be making our final payment on the Pan American ground this month. And that has made us the second largest landowner in this district. Since then, we have drilled the resource area well below the current resource area. We have made 2 discoveries on the Lucita property. And what we're trying to prove is that this camp has been very, very underlooked, and the geology is there and supports an additional large discovery. So we have 3 kind of districts that we're, so 3 sort of land packages that we're exploring here in the district. We have the main Veta Grande vein system, where we have operating mines on 2 sides of us. We have the Cozamin mine, they're mining to the south of us, and then we have the Veta Grande vein mine, which is mining up to our property boundary on the west of us. This is the pillar of the district. This is the historical mine that's produced about 150 million ounces of silver, and the vein system is still in production. And what we have is a historical or a resource estimate that was done prior to our involvement, and we've drilled well below that resource estimate. So this red line that you see in the middle of the image here, this is a cross-section like you're looking at a piece of cake. That is the current level of the resource estimate, and we've drilled about 300 meters below that resource estimate, and in this hole itself, that one is 10 meters of 300 grams silver, but 3 meters of 900 grams silver, 300 meters below the resource estimate. That's 10 times the cutoff grade of the current resource estimate. When you look at the timeline and what we've done over the course of the year, what we keep doing is drilling very high-grade results. We keep putting them out. As I said, the stock keeps getting cut in half. We've also put together a tremendous geologic model, and we can predict where veins might be that nobody had assayed before. So earlier this year, a couple months ago, we put out a drill result where all we did was go back and project the vein model onto old drilling that was done in 2015 and 2017, and we came back with 35 meters of 150 grams silver in a place that nobody had looked for before. So of course, that's going to have us do that across the entire data set that we have, which includes 50,000 meters of drilling from Mag Silver. So what we're doing is showing that the paucity of modern exploration on this district is going to both increase our resource, but then lead to new discoveries. So in 2020, right before COVID, we approached Pan American Silver, who we had a previous relationship with working on another property in Mexico, so they understood who we were. And we acquired the Lucita property, which we are going to make the final payment on, and we will have 100% ownership of that at the end of the month here. It's the only property in our entire portfolio that we don't have an option to repurchase the NSR. Pan American retained that, so we consider them to be partners through development. Last year, we made 2 discoveries on this property, a vein-hosted discovery up to 3 kilograms per ton silver, and a contact-style mineralization discovery, which is grading up to 700 grams per ton silver. The first pass drilling program was done as a first pass drilling program, step across the vein system and see where the vein is and see what we can come up with. We hit wide widths, we hit high grades, we hit new targets. We also hit a blind discovery, which was 50 meters of, say, 60 grams per ton silver. Not very high grade when you bulk it out to that 60-meter interval, but very high grade when you look at the intervals within it, up to 700 grams per ton silver. It's blind, we have one hole into it, and this structure itself is a multi-kilometer mappable structure. So we have a plan to, of course, follow up drill this in the next 12 months. And then what we consider to be the best polymetallic target in the district, it sort of has a bit more of a flavor like the San Nicolas deposit, is called the Panuco project. That was drilled by Pan American in the early 2000s. They came up with 3.5 meters of 325 grams silver. It hosts one of the best polymetallic targets over kilometer scale length, over 150 to 500 grams per ton silver. And what we're starting to see is a lot of copper in the system as well. So we have permits to drill this. We can get the drill on the property. We have roads that go right across the main showings. And we hope that we'll be able to get a drill onto this in the next 12 months. So time's up. I got the zeros on the screen. It's a lot of information, but thank you very much.
It's a lot of information. It was a good presentation, especially considering the good start with me messing up your name. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
But anybody, any questions? Anybody? All right. Well, I have a question. What are you doing if, and assuming it's just gonna go through and you resolve the legal issues, what exactly is happening on the copper gold project right after that? What's the timeline?
So copper gold project needs to be looked at in 2 states. It needs to be looked at in an exploration phase. Tests. There's a hole that's 300 meters below the current pit shell design. It's 188 meters of gram gold and 0.5% copper, 300 meters below one of the pits. So that could dramatically increase our current resource body. And then on the sideline, get the site prep ready for the what will be an open pit copper gold mine in the future. So parallel development, one being exploration, one be that early construction works on the mine.
All right. As you said, time is pushing. Just one more question? Anybody else? Okay, thank you, Doug, for being here.
Thank you, Antonio.